Hello, my name is Dasha and this is a final project video for business modeling with spreadsheets, spring 2020. The subject of my presentation is how we can use Excel solver for better allocation planning. Now, I work for a medical supply company, and among my responsibilities is allocation of inventory that is in short supply. In normal worlds, we would have supply and demand, and orders get fulfilled on first come, first served basis. So customer comes in and places an order for 1,000 units, and if there is 900 available and that's the first order that came in, all 900 will go to that customer. However, oftentimes, and especially nowadays, products go on market shortages, and the company needs to take a little bit different approach during that time. So, in other words, we have 200 orders and we have only 100 units. We want to make sure that as many customers get the inventory as possible rather than no customers get the inventory. Let's not forget, it's medical supplies. So in this situation, the strategy is to have the facilities running and having some supply inventory rather than nothing. Normally, I would have an Excel spreadsheet, very basic, where I have the inventory available and deduct almost manually products that get sent out to orders. However, apparently it's much easier with Solver, and in the next I will show you how this can be done. So I use data from my company's ERP system. I simplified it and renamed, not disclosing your customers' names. Also, just to make it easier, I renamed the products to products A, B, C, and D. Now, this is just a sample. It's not obviously the full picture of how many products we have on acute market shortages, and this is not how many customers we need to allocate them to. It's just for the purpose of this assignment. In row 10, I have how many units of each products I have available to supply. So we just won't be able to go over this. So this is my supply, and my demand is expressed over here in column G. The units over here are based off historical usage of each customer. However, for this project, they serve more of a benchmark, what we want to provide to each customer at a minimum. Meaning, if this customer, the total units we can supply exceeds more than demand, that just indicates that if a customer needs more product, they can place an order. Now, this table represents our supply demand. As a pro-profit organization, we want to make sure also that our profits are growing, and while distributing merchandise as evenly as possible to all consumers, we want to make the profits. For this purpose, I have a second table where data entered is profit per unit per customer. So every customer has a set pricing schedule for products, and when they go and place orders, they might have the same or not the same pricing. It's just something that the sales reps work with each individual consumer. So in other words, if customer 1 places an order for 1 unit of product A, the company, us, will make $2. And we see that there are some items that are very profitable and, not very profitable, and some with pretty high profits. So again, because we're a pro-profit organization, our goal is to maximize profit. In other words, we want to have these quantities distributed as profitable as possible, considering that all consumers get something on their order. So to maximize profits, I'm using some product. I have quantities and I have the profits. And next, we need to set up constraints for the solver. So here I have my set objective as maximizing profit. The cells that I will be looking at will be B through E, the quantities. Alright, now more detailed into the constraints. The inventory, the total amount of allocated of product A, B, C, or D cannot exceed inventory available. So in my constraints, I would have the B9 must be less or equal to B10, right? And I have all of them here for all 4 products. Now the total allocated must be less or equal to inventory available. That's, in other words, what we're saying. The minimum demand, and this is where the benchmark is, needs to be satisfied. So we have cell F3 F3 is more or equal to G3. This means that minimum, the customer will get minimum of these quantities. Next, because we're dealing with smallest units of measure, we cannot break down these products. I set up a constraint that the cells must be integers. And lastly, even though we're trying to maximize the profits, we don't want to have anybody not receive the merchandise. And for this purpose, I said that the variable cells must be more or equal to or more than 10. As a result of these constraints, the solver came out with these quantities. So as we can see, everybody gets at least 10, and customers who have the highest profitability, they get the most product. Obviously, this is just an example. In reality, these quantities might be customized depending on the product, depending on the customer. We might want to work with, customers who are the most profitable, or there might be other agreements, other constraints that tell us, all right, no, we need to give customer 1 more merchandise than this. However, this is a great example how a solver can help us make our lives easier. And as a result, we have an even distribution of available inventory and maximized profits. Thank you for watching, and thank you for Professor Wheeler for teaching this course. I learned a lot, and it really helped me in my job.